Mhm. Yeah, girl, listen, how you doing? I'm just playing around trying to get some of this time so I can open up other stuff. But you see my screen? I was trying to my little backdrop, I was trying to make it smaller. Hey girl, hey. I'm talking to you too. Can you hear me? You probably can't even hear me. Hold on. Yeah, you can hear me. You should be. It may be a little some whistling going on cuz I'm at the park. But listen, can you what does it say to you? Something like why upset? I'm trying to do my little time. How much, how many minutes and stuff? It does sound good. Okay, well listen, can you help me? Of course later on. But I tried to do this backdrop and it was on my TikTok and I tried to go live over on there and I'm not even sure if it was successful. I think it was because one person was like, in particular, was commenting. But with that being said, I wanted to really have a conversation to, and I call them MAGAites. Some of those, hey, I'm sorry, Walan, uh, Lambelote, that's probably not it. Lambelat, how are you? Um, Miss, I have a question, of course. How, don't laugh, I tried, Walan. Elon? No, I tried. What? I tried. Yes. What's your question? Nah, I'd win. I'm waiting for it. So with that, tit for tat, I was really curious as to the fact that this Epstein, former attorney or something like that, passed away, and or the person that was going to represent him with the Epstein thing. Apparently, he passed away, but he was 80 years old. And I'm seeing over there that some of the MAGites, they basically said, "I don't want anything to do with you anymore." And I'm just curious as to why they was upset with that when when we were given funding over there to the country that starts with the U and ends with the E, and also the creative the created state that was formed in 1948 on top of natives. That why we gave over, was it two, we've given over what, 260 billion, including the current POTUS. So yeah, I was kind of curious as to how this one was like the proverbial um, straw that broke the camel's back kind of deal. So yeah, if anyone who's affiliated with the that particular party, I would love to hear your um, your response. Share with me with a few things that he has been not just accused of, found guilty on a few, had to pay some monies for stuff that he didn't do, which is touching people. You all let that go, and things of that nature. What was it about this particular um, thing that got your fancy to where you're like, I'm not going to fool with him no more. He's a liar, because we all knew he was, and I think that's where some of us, not that we find it humorous, it's somewhat sad, but we don't want to cry, so it's humorous. Where he's been this way since the mid 80s. So he's not shown us anything different. Some of us chose to ignore those organizational behaviors. Because looking back, you all, the MAGites, would you really hire, let's say you had a business, would you hire someone who's had to go bankrupt even when he's been given hundreds of thousands of dollars to start a business? Like, who does that? We did. Would we? Who would? Except for the country that starts with the U and ends with the E, who would actually hire to basically run the country? Someone who's an entertainer. We did on more than one occasion. Ronald Reagan, believe it or not, was an actor, right? And I think a couple other people, but he stands out. So we're known. And the president of the country that sounds like a U that ends with the E. So, you know, these are the questions that I would love to kind of pose to the MAGAites and really get their perspective because, I listen and I try not to judge, you know. Yep, there you go. I'll be back. Arnold was the governor of California. Thank you, Wilbur. Exactly. So again, what is going on with our culture that type of selection becomes our election, right? When will we, stop and pump the brakes? So again, nah, I haven't nod when you asked to ask a question, but I haven't heard from you. So I am kind of curious as to um, what that question is. So again, you all, these are the kind of questions that now we need to come to the table respectfully and discuss. Like, we can't keep um, acting as though it's going to fix itself. Again, at a TikTok live just recently, I was interacting with a very respectful MAGAite, and they told me just to stay tuned, that he's basically um, holding his cards real close to him, because and that's what the X factor is, and just what stay tuned for more. And I think they were shocked that I agreed somewhat with where they that particular thought process, because one from the outside would look at the fact that he is an X factor because he wasn't a politician, so he wasn't groomed, and that's what a lot of you all voted for. So I can definitely see where uh, they were coming from, and others that feel similar. What I would say is, and like I shared with them, you would hate it to be where it's too late for his cards to be shown, where his cards may be taken away from him via the 25th Amendment, where when an impeachment comes in, as you all know, based on the other side, other parties back in the day, it's a really, and also him, the last term. Um, you don't want to go that route again, because the decisions that they're they are coercing him to make, it's a few of them are coming back to respectfully blow up in his face, because they knew, some of them knew those policies were going to do that, have that kind of response, and I believe they set him in harm's way to get him uh, to where, to tell you all, we didn't do anything, this is what his behaviors has been, so we have no choice but to get impeached, to support that. We have no choice based on these files. We have no choice based on X, Y, and Z, to allow the American people, right? Put it on y'all to, have this process starting with the I, ending with a T. And this is where I implore you all to reach out to each other, that this doesn't happen. Because if you think that it's kind of chaotic now, respectfully, when JD Vance becomes your president, your POTUS, it's it's nothing compared to what we're experiencing right now. And I'm just hoping that you all can grasp that it's really objective. If he's going to go out, let him go out on his own, not that him being set up. You see what I'm saying? So that's where I'm coming from with your POTUS. Let's see what Wilbur says. In order to hold political office, people should be actually qualified. You wouldn't go to a doctor with a GED. Wilbur, exactly. Exactly. And it just shows how, unfortunately, our politics have become like a soap opera, rather than kind of getting in there and grinding it out. And there's the interesting thing about it is that there are some really strong foundational concepts in those documents that, quote unquote, founded America, even though America wasn't lost. the American culture, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Gettysburg Address, certain documents that were done by white men, rich white men. Some of those things have been outdated, and yet we kind of hold on to them, even with the Electoral College. And I'm doing some content on that because the research that I've done, it goes even deeper than what I had researched earlier, in that it's one of, they didn't want us to have the democracy that a lot of us are still fighting for. So they made it to where it was a numbers game and no longer a people's game. I mean, and meaning that one vote, one matters, that kind of concept is the reason. Exactly, Wilbur. Abolish it, because it was for that little bit of land with the white landowners. And that's not me being racist, or it's just the history of it. And we have to be okay and be comfortable with speaking on abolishing electoral college, a system that just really favored certain states when you think about it. Too much, exactly, too much weight put into, yes, into the swing states. So for the other ones, and I was in a few of those states because I'm from South Carolina, so of course, that's red state. Since Strom Thurmond, uh, back in the day of the Dixiecrats, like yeah, we got to know our history, right? But one one person's vote in like North Dakota or whatever shouldn't have more value or less value than Ohio or Pennsylvania, right? That shouldn't be the case. Even North Carolina, that shouldn't be the case. Every person should matter, and that's what this whole white, respectfully, culture that is based on Eurocentric background. That's what they came over here and they fought for, right? They fought for the opportunity for, um, Eurocentric men to have a part of the American dream, what they termed as the American dream. And again, because of the proximity and things of that nature, is also why they began with the Electoral College vote. And they did not want the average Joe like me and you to have the same power in our vote as they did. And that's why one of the criteria was having land, and who had land during those times. Rich white European men who had come over here, whose parents or forefathers had come over. So again, it's not not necessarily a racist thing. It's just these are the facts, and we have to feel comfortable with being able to speak on the facts. So I thank you all for chiming in and sharing. And I'm going to come back in a little bit because I need to take a walk, and I don't want to you all to get to hear all of the winds and the things of that nature, and the signal going in and out from the park or whatnot. So again, I thank you all for chiming in, for supporting, for liking, subscribing, um, sharing if you did. And these are the kind of conversations I look forward to hearing and sharing with you in the future. Because again, we have to feel comfortable with sharing. Oh wow! Thank you so much, Wilbur, for subscribing. I appreciate that, and with positive, support like you all, we're gonna inspire to be more intentional with bringing coming out more, and just kind of chilling with you all, getting your perspective and learning, because that's what it's about. Each one of us learning from each other so that they can fear one us. And that's what one's fear is. They fear one us. So until next time, Ashe, y'all have a good one.